again, I'm not knocking smart trainers or anything like that. I think they have their great functionalities and great moments. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I got a great video for you today. Well, I think it's great. Recently, while I was on Zwift streaming on Twitch, I had one of my followers come on to the stream and ask me a question. He said he had been following my videos or have seen a couple of my videos on YouTube. And so he had a question about how the spin bike works on Zwift. And he was referring to the interactivity. So I ended up on that stream getting into a pretty lengthy discussion with him. And while I was right there on Zwift, on the spin bike, I could actually demonstrate to him how you create the interactivity with your spin bike. Because obviously the spin bike, it's not a smart trainer. The smart trainer has that advantage of the interactivity where, when you start going up a hill, the resistance can change on it. Where with the spin bike, you control that as the user. You put the resistance depending on if you need to output more or increase RPM. So, it works for me and I like it, and I probably will never invest in a smart trainer. I have tried it. I have tried a smart trainer. I think they're great, but I do like my setup. So anyways, what I decided to do is instead of sitting here trying to explain how that works, I just clipped that section right out of that Twitch stream where I explained to that follower and demonstrate right on Zwift how that interactivity works on Zwift with the spin bike. So just check out the video. It's a little bit long. It's probably about 18 minutes of explanation. There's only one really good section in there where I get to really demonstrate how the spin bike and the interactivity works when I'm climbing a hill. But overall, just check it out. Let me know what you think. Please make comments. I take them all, good or bad. And check it out. Hey, Hobel. I think that's what your name says. So, I'll put it this way. It really depends on what you want to do. Okay, so there's no interactivity, so it doesn't control it. Okay, so you take that hill right there. Obviously I went up it slow. But I've been maintaining this 140, 150 watts. You can see my zone there at the bottom. So now I'm going downhill, I'm going fast. So if I wanted to go up that hill faster, I got to do two things to create watts. Increase my RPM, which I'm already running a high RPM, or I increase the resistance. So if I were to bump that resistance up to dial in the resistance to about 250 watts or so, that speed's going to go up. I'll try to give you an example here in a sec. Let's see what's coming up. I'm going downhill now. Well, I can even demonstrate it on the downhill or flat. Well, here's a little riser. So I'll tell you what, as soon as I come down this downhill, I'm almost back to the start-finish line. It flattens out there. So what I'll do, I'm going to maintain this watts, because this is kind of what I plan to do today. But pay attention to my speed And I'll crank it up till I'm outputting about 250 watts or so. And you'll watch everything increase with it. I mean everything, including my heart rate. As long as I maintain consistent RPM, because again, you got to remember RPM affects watt output. It's like right now, you see I'm doing about, close to 100. But watch my watt output when I increase to about 110, 115. Now there was a bit of a surge there, so it's going to come down. You see my watts go up just by increasing RPM, which is the same as a bike. Okay. Now I'm going to bring my RPM down. I'm about to hit that flat section. So I'm doing 29 miles an hour. All right, so there I go. I'm going to crank my knob down. Well, wasn't planning on doing 400 watts, but there you go. Now watching my heart rate going up, but I'm maintaining 27 miles an hour through the flat. Now let me back it off. Okay, so you see the speed coming down. I left the watts way up because I didn't mean to put a 400 watts there. So you see the speeds come way down. I'm back to 100 watts. Now, what I'm going to do, wasn't planning on climbing today, but when the section comes, I'm going to change directions, go up the hill. So I'll be able to give you a bit of a real live demonstration of changing my RPM, changing my resistance while climbing. All right. Okay, I think I told you to go straight. Turn my camera view around. All right. So again, not doing anything crazy today, but so I'm going to maintain this 140 watts. 95-ish RPM. And I'll let you know when I actually touch the resistance knob. Well, you'll know because watts will really go up. All right, so here we are, 4 or 5%. Now I'm just going to increase RPM. That's it, just like a real bike. You see they're doing 113 and able to put out about 200 watts. Okay. Let me get past this curve here. I'm going to back off on the RPM. All right, 12%, 12, 11-ish. Let me get past the bend because I think it evens out here a little bit. Now notice my speed is way down because I'm not putting out that effort. I mean, I'm down in the gray zone, zone 1. All right. Now, I'm going to increase resistance just as if, like I change gears and I'm wanting to climb harder, climb faster, okay? So here we go. I'm just slowly turning it, and I can feel it already. I'm going to try not to increase RPM. Okay, so I'm just slowly creaking in resistance. Now see my speed starting to go up? It's because I'm putting more effort. Now I'm going to really crank it down, go up to like 400 watts. Now you can see I'm climbing at 10 miles an hour on the same grade. It pretty much stayed around 7 or 8%. All right, back off. You see my heart rate, of course, jumped way up from, I think I was doing 165 to 170 with that. I don't know if you can see that little red zone effort. Whew. So FAVERO, I don't know if that answered your question, but try my best to demonstrate it live here on the bike. So the interactivity is really dependent on what you do with it. How do you want to ride today? Am I working out? Do I have zones to meet? Well, I got to control this resistance to maintain whatever RPM I want for that output, and that's works for whether you're working out or you're in a race. So like typically in a race, people, in my category anyways, people are going to climb this hill at like, 4 watts per kilo or so. Yeah, no problem. Typically, like this hill in a race, I cannot sit down and keep up with the group. So I got to really crank the resistance to get out of the saddle. I'll show you that. I'll get up to like, there you go, doing like 4.1 watts per kilo, close to 400 watts. You see I'm starting to pass all these people now. Oh. All right, that's enough demonstration for me, Hal. I haven't been on my bike in a week. So, if anything, that demonstration gave me a little bit of a workout. Whew. So, I'm going to take it you're considering a trainer, or you already have one. And again, this originally came about because I broke a frame. Very expensive frame. Bianchi Ultra. And I broke it right before a race. Hotter than hell 100 in Texas. And this was back in 2014, 2015, 15, 16 maybe, I can't remember exactly. So I broke the frame, and I know it was because of having a bike and a stationary trainer. The newer trainers, they put, they pivot and they move. So I don't think you're putting as much stress in the joints near the rear. So I'm not totally knocking them, but now that I have this set up, it's just, like I've said, it's always ready to go. It's here in the gym, computer set up, Apple TV set up, screen set up. I don't have to mount a bike. I just fire up Apple TV and go. I have, ridden my bike on a trainer. Generally, although there's no more racing, but if I go to a race, I'm gonna more than likely use the trainer. But again, I'm not sprinting, I'm just working in certain zones to warm up my muscles for that race. But just everyday use, this bike just works. It's solid. I've had it, I'm going on 3 years now. 3+ years. I've adjusted the chain once. Changed the batteries in the pedals multiple times. I just love the setup. I wouldn't do anything different. What I have in cost, between $240 for the bike is what I paid back then. I think I got the pedals on eBay for $650. Yeah, I probably paid close to the price of a smart trainer, but I'm not dealing with synchronization issues, which I don't think that's a big problem anymore. But I had someone comment recently that theirs broke. Well, then what? Where are you going to take that to get it fixed? Is your bike shop certified to fix them? I don't know. So I could not imagine going to a smart trainer. I don't need that level of interactivity. I think you just saw here, I created my own interactivity based on what's going on. How I can control my efforts, the resistance, my RPM. And one person on my YouTube made comments about, oh gosh, what did he say? Oh, he made comments about, how do I feel like I'm getting a better workout than he is? And I was like, well, I can't compare to another person and their smart trainer. I was simply comparing to the many, many workouts I've done with the bike on my trainer versus this. So with it being direct drive, direct drive, I got to keep pedaling all the time. I can feel the weight of the flywheel, especially when I'm pulling up on a backstroke. Now, look, if I stop, well, then I'm going downhill a little bit. Look, I'm going to stop where, the smart trainers, there's that little bit of a coast. So that's where I'm saying that I think I get a little bit better workout. Now that's my comparison, not comparing anyone else. Well, there you have it. I know it was a long explanation, but hopefully that helps make some sense to, why I like it. My wife has the same setup. We love the setup, and it's always, the spin bike is always set up ready to go. I don't have to mount a bike, even though I have spare bikes, I could throw a spare bike on a trainer. It just this just works for me and what I do. And so again, I'm not knocking smart trainers or anything like that. I think they have their great functionalities and great moments, but I think there's also potential for some problems with them. But so this just works for me. So anyways, thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll continue to try to put out these type of videos to help everybody out. Thank you.